Today I am going to explain you the chapter A Truly Beautiful Mind. It is about Albert Einstein, class 9 Beehive book. This chapter is about Albert Einstein. He was a great scientist. The title of this chapter, A Truly Beautiful Mind, refers to Albert Einstein. This is his short biography where some of his qualities have been highlighted. Introduction of the lesson. A Truly Beautiful Mind is about the great scientist Albert Einstein. This is his short biography where some of his qualities have been highlighted. In his childhood, he was often misunderstood by his mother and his teachers as regard his intelligence. Albert liked mathematics and physics very much and also loved humanity. From this name, A Truly Beautiful Mind makes everyone wonder that how can a scientist's mind be beautiful? It is so because in this lesson we come across another aspect of Einstein. He was a humanitarian. He advocates world peace, non-violence, and that is why here he refers to him as a truly beautiful mind. So, in the course of time, we will come to know how beautiful his mind is actually. Let's see the summary. This brief sketch of Albert Einstein's life and achievements of the great genius reveals that extraordinary personalities and exceptional intellectual capabilities are not necessarily noticed during the early years. The author focuses on two aspects of Einstein's personality, as a scientist and as a human being. As a scientist, his marvelous discoveries created revolutions, and as a human being, he worked towards peace and harmony in the world. So, in the course of time, here the truly beautiful mind refers the mind of Albert Einstein in two aspects. One of his intelligence means the brilliance which nobody can match, nobody could match with him. And the second aspect was mankind, his emotional intelligence. And for that he was much respected, and because he tries to establish harmony in the world and also protest against the use of weapons. The time when he was there, the time our situation was all around, the world was very bad. So, through this chapter we come to know that first paragraph of this chapter, what we found there. Albert Einstein was born in 14 March 1879 in the German city of Ulm without any indication that he was destined for greatness. On the contrary, his mother thought Albert was a freak. To her, his head seemed much too large. So, he was born in Ulm, in the German city of Ulm. At the age of 2.5, Einstein still was not talking. When he finally did learn to speak, he uttered everything twice. Einstein did not know what to do with other children, and his playmates called him brother boring. So, the youngster played by himself. Much of the time, he especially loved mechanical toys. Looking at his newborn sister Maja, he is said to have said, "Fine, but where are her wheels?" See how he questions. So, from writer's point of view, what we got that Einstein was not talking till the age of 2.5 years. Clearly, that outwardly his growth parameter were slower than as compared to his other children of his age actually. And when Einstein started talking, he used to utter everything twice. This indicates that his speech pattern was unlike what is usually found in the young children. And what his playmates call him? His playmates call him brother boring because he was shy, slow, introvert, and did not know the art of interacting with others. Einstein attends. The headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose as a professional would not matter because he will never make a success at anything. Einstein's being learning to play the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. He later became a gifted amateur violinist, remaining maintaining this skill throughout his life. But Albert Einstein was not a bad pupil. He went to high school in Munich, where Einstein's family had moved when he was 15 months old, and scored good marks in almost every subject. Einstein hated the school's regimentations, means strictness, and often clashed with his teachers. At the age of 15, Einstein left so stifled that he left the school for good. So, when actually Einstein hated the school's regimentation and strictness. So, in the age of 15 years, he felt like so suffocated, and he feel like unable to breathe there. So, he left the school for good. Albert's family moved to Milan. The previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan and left their son with relatives. After prolonged discussion, Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German-speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich. So, Albert family left to the place, moved to Milan. As he got the permission to study in the University of Zurich, he also felt a special interest in fellow students, Milava Marik, whom he found to be a clever creature. This young scrub had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. Einstein saw in her an ally against the Philistines, those people in his family and at the university with whom he was constantly at odds. The couple fell in love, later survived, in which they put their attention into words, mixing science with tenderness. Wrote Einstein, "How happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion." So, he joins in the University of Zurich, where he meets Milava. He work there. After they fall in love. In 1900, at the age of 21, Albert Einstein was a university graduate and unemployed. He worked as a teaching assistant, gave private lessons, and finally secured a job in 1902 as a technical expert in the patent office in Bern. While he was supposed to be assessing other people's inventions, Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. He is said to have jokingly called his desk drawer at work the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. So, he worked in a patent office as a technical expert. On the famous papers of 1905 was Einstein's special theory of relativity, according to which time and distance are not absolute. Indeed, two perfectly accurate clocks will not continue to show the same time if they come together again after a journey. If one of them has been moving very fast relative to the other, from this following the world's most famous formula which describes the relationship between mass and energy. E is equal to mc square. Here in this mathematical equation, E stands for energy, m for mass, and E for the speed of the light in a vacuum about 3 lakhs kilometer per second. In this reference, I would like to quote quoted by actually Albert Einstein that when you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. And when you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. That is relativity. So, in a simple way, he is explaining what relativity is. E is equal to mc square in a simple way, isn't it? While Einstein was solving the most difficult problems in physics, his private life was unraveling. Albert had wanted to marry Mileva right after finishing his studies, but his mother was against it. She thought Mileva, who was 3 years older than her son, was too old for him. She was also bothered by Mileva's intelligence. She is a book like you, his mother said. Einstein put the wedding off. So, from there, he first published his special theory of relativity, E is equal to mc square, and he provides a new interpretation of gravity also. The pair finally married on January 1903, and had 2 sons, but few years later the marriage faltered. Mileva, meanwhile, was losing her intellectual ambition and becoming an unhappy housewife. After years of constant fighting, the couple finally divorced in 1990. Einstein married to his cousin Elsa the same year. So, in 1919, he got divorced from his wife Mileva, and married again to his cousin Elsa. Einstein's new personal chapter coincided with the rise of world fame in 1915. He had published his general theory of relativity, which provided a new interpretation of gravity. An eclipse of the sun in 1990 brought proof that it was accurate. Einstein had correctly calculated in advance the extent to which the light from fixed stars would be deflected through the sun's gravitational field. The newspaper proclaimed his work as a scientific revolution. So, we come to know that he was one of the who gave us his theory of relativity, and the famous formula E is equal to mc square, which was proven accurate after an eclipse in 1990. Einstein received the Nobel Prize for Physics in 1921. He was sought with honors and invitations from all over the world and lauded by the press. So, in 1921, he received Nobel Prize for Physics. When the Nazis came to power in Germany in 1933, Einstein immigrated to the United States. 5 years later, the discovery of nuclear fission of Berlin had American physicists in an uproar. Many of them had fled from fascism just as Einstein had, and now they were afraid the Nazis could build and use an atomic bomb. All the urging of a colleague, Einstein wrote a letter to the American President Franklin D. Roosevelt on 2nd August 1939, in which he warned a single bomb of this type exploded in a port might very well destroy the whole port together with some of the surrounding territory. His words did not fall to have an effect. the Americans developed the atomic bomb in a secret project of their own and dropped it on the Japanese cities of Hiroshima and Nagasaki in August 1945. So, when Hitler comes to power, Einstein leaves Germany for United States. Einstein, here we found that he writes a letter to US President Franklin D. Roosevelt and warns against Germany building of an atomic bomb. Einstein was deeply shaken by the extent of the destruction. This time he wrote a public missive to the United Nations. In it, he proposed the formation of a world government. Unlike the letter to Roosevelt, this one made on no impact, but over the next decade, Einstein got ever more involved in politics against for an end to the arms buildup and using his popularity to campaign for peace and democracy. So, in the later decade, he got involved in politics. When Einstein died in 1955 at the age of 76, he was celebrated as a visionary and world citizen as much as scientific genius. So, he died in 76 years in 1955 and he was celebrated as a visionary and world citizen as much as scientific genius. From this very chapter, A Truly Beautiful Mind, we get the message that this account of life and personality of famous scientist Albert Einstein, that a beautiful mind possesses not only beautiful innovative ideas but also makes science sincere effort to use these ideas to well-being of mankind. Actually, science should not be solely devoted to the promotion of worldwide peace and harmony and prosperity. If it used for destruction purpose, the scientific invention and discoveries can wreak havoc on the earth. So, for example, making weapons or destructive arms which can destroy life and property. So, proper use of science and scientific techniques is absolutely necessary for mankind. And this is exemplified by Albert Einstein, who on one hand gave the world famous relativity and the other hand he was also supporting world peace and harmony. This is what we need to learn from Albert Einstein. So, it is clear that science should be a blessing to mankind, not a curse. Here the emotional intelligence of Albert Einstein is much respected along with his science because he tries to establish harmony in the world and also protects that against the use of weapons. That time the situation all around the world was very bad, and by promoting this world peace and harmony, Albert Einstein wanted everywhere, he promoted democracy and peace and democracy in the world. This is all about A Truly Beautiful Mind, the chapter. Hope you have understood this chapter. If you like my videos, do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.